want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie to level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production respectfully brings to you the 192nd episode of the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the plum playwright of Ace Blade, Danger Quick. Together, we are your two award-winning Blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're listening and watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Danny?
Happy birthday, Kyron.
I knew that was coming. Thank you. I knew.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, light the beam, Kyron. Happy birthday to you.
I don't have the light the beam. I have it here. I have it. I think I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it. I don't have it. Oh my god, I don't have light the beam. I don't have light the beam saved anymore. Oh,
terrible.
Wait, here it is.
Light the beam. I missed that hat. I don't know what happened to that hat. It was my favorite hat for a time, and one of my children stole it, and I've never seen it again. One of my kids wore it to school one day, and it's gone.
This is a lesson to never have kids. Is what you're telling me.
It's too late, Kyron. It's too late for me. But happy birthday, man. How does it feel being 28?
Man, I wish I was 28. I wish I was 28.
28 times 1.5. How old are you now, Kyron?
60.
You're not 60 years old. How old are you?
I'm 60. I'm 60. You said I was 60. I'm 60.
You're not 60, Kyron. There's no way. You're too darn handsome to be 60. If you're 60 years old, the black really don't crack ever. Like black don't crease. I don't know what to call it. But
I'm gonna go with 60 because you said I'm 60. I'm gonna go with 60. That's what the universe is gonna say now.
Well, happy 60th birthday, man.
Thank you.
This it's been great doing the show with you. I've only known you for how long have we known each other now? 5 years? How many years has it been?
Oh, it's been more. We've been doing the show for 5 years. So obviously we've had to have known each other longer than that.
Maybe 6, 7 years.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7.
6, 7.
I mean, if only there was a way I could just, log on to a website and it clicked to see like friendship and they would, tell us how long we've been friends.
Yeah, you
like
can do
a book
that.
of some sort.
If there was a book of faces that you could check.
Yeah.
But, either way.
Friends since January 2018. So 8 years now.
Well, that's a good long time. Time.
Yeah.
A lot of marriages don't last that long. But here we are.
You still look good.
Yeah. But what you been up to, man? Any reading any good comics? Did you adopt any more cats? Anything?
Did I adopt any more cats? I read 2 comics this week. So you should be proud of me. I read 3. I read 3 comics this week. I read Absolute Batman, issue 1. I finally got into it. I read
issue 1, Kyron.
I know. You've seen the stack of books that I have waiting, okay?
Yeah, you're supposed to make. Well, I guess you did. Make. Way for Absolute Batman because the stack is rather large.
It's very, and I actually organized it, and ranked it based off of what I really wanted to read to least. So, Absolute Batman was on top.
There you go.
I read Wolverine Revenge, issue 1. That came out like a couple years ago. And then I read friend of the show, Dan Bethel's Long John webcomic, episode 6, Arrested Decay.
Nice.
Yes. The conclusion of the Long John series. So
I like that he, decided to start putting that out digitally. But I need to catch up before I can read these new ones, because I'm still on like 3 or 4 or something like that. I'm behind on Long John.
You don't have to worry about it. There's no more Long John anymore. This is it.
I know. I know, sadly.
I know. Although I do feel like, because he's mentioned behind the scenes that he wants to run a Kickstarter for basically an omnibus of Long John.
Nice.
And I was like, man, if only we knew like someone who is also running a Kickstarter for a Western comic book, maybe we could do like cross promoting with him.
I like that idea. I like that idea for sure.
I don't know, just someone.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. Paige Alfred in the chat said, "What's going on?" Nothing. We're about to talk to an amazing guest. So,
yeah, we do. We got an amazing guest this week. As a lot of you guys know, we are headed to 5-Star Comic-Con this summer, and we got 54 days. I think I don't have the website pulled up, but it's somewhere in the 50s now. We don't usually do this till later, Kyron. Stop it. We don't usually do the number of dates.
It's 57 days.
57. I knew it was somewhere in there. 57 days, 3 hours, and 52 minutes away from 5-Star Comic-Con in Dayton, Ohio, at the Dayton Convention Center. And we've got another guest that is going to be there. Friend of the show and pinball machine lover. He is an artist over 20 years in digital webbing, and the creator of The Devil's Contract and Mr. Love, Dan Barlow.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm good. I'm here. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Danny gave a very nice introduction, but to anyone that's not familiar with their work, can you give us an expanded overview about who Dan is and his work?
Yeah, I've been doing comic illustration. I did a little bit in the 90s, and then really I did some work for Digital Webbing Presents, and then some other small press. And so I was always doing traditional pen and ink for a lot of indies throughout the early 2000s. And then in 2022, I decided to put together my first book, The Devil's Contract. That's issue 1 right there. Can't see it too good. And then I put that out, published it myself, because since the landscape kind of changed with print on demand and the internet and connecting with people to help you get a book done. And so that was 2022, and I'm currently working on issue 6 of that. Let me show you another book real quick. That's issue 4. That's my Jim Lee tribute to his X-Men piece.
Yeah.
And then did a couple other books, Mr. Love. And then now I'm getting ready to drop my new book, Frank Gunn, Monster Soldier. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. Pinball and comics, and try to take care of the family life, keep the wife happy and make sure the kids stay out of trouble and stuff. So
keep the wife happy, make sure the kids stay out of trouble. I'm with you on that.
And juggle the day job. I don't know about y'all, but I don't do comics full time, but it's just that passion that won't go away.
Yeah.
Just because I was always drawing as a kid. I didn't really buy comics until I was a teenager. So I was cutting out comic strips from the newspaper and just started drawing that. Or if I'd see an encyclopedia, which, these kids don't know about that stuff. But back in the 70s, 80s, we had encyclopedias.
Now you know about the encyclopedia.
Yeah. So I looked
Britannica
at the illustrations to draw animals and just draw whatever you can just on scraps of paper and stuff, or, and eventually I got into comics in the 80s. Some dudes hit me to Daredevil when Frank Miller was doing it.
Yeah.
And then I picked up on the Punisher right when that limited series dropped. And also Keith Giffen and Kevin McGuire's Justice League of America. And just some of that good art. And then I saw X-Men, a cool dude I knew hooked me up to the X-Men. And I saw that Mark Silvestri art. And I was like, damn, what is this? And it went on from there. Mignola Hellboy is a heavy influence. And so, yeah, I met some of these great comic artists, at shows back then. And there's been opportunities. Like I had an art scholarship to Kansas City State. I didn't go out to it. And then I had a chance to intern at Marvel, John Romita Sr., RFP. Wow. But yeah, he invited me to come out to New York to intern at Marvel. But it's like, man, you don't make no money, and where the hell are you going to live? How are you going to eat and stuff? And I probably wouldn't be drawing. I'd probably be like getting coffee and making copies and whatever.
No, I heard a lot of those interns were doing a lot of pencil work behind the scenes. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like they were doing like Ramita and a lot of the other people were doing very loose layouts. Okay. And then the interns would come in there and finish it. Yeah.
Man, see?
But yeah, you're right. It was unpaid.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah, because that was at a show in '93. I did a small piece. There's a company called Samson Comics out of Florida at the time, and they hired Billy Tucci to do the front cover. He did that She comic, right? Mm-hmm. And this is in '93. Image was hitting and everything. So me and a partner, we had this. Samson Comics was going to pick up our book. I had a cybernetic vampire character I did this book on, and so Samson Comics did like a sampler. This is what's coming. Man, that book sold over 30 to 40,000 copies. We didn't get a penny of it, right? And they were hyping up our stuff because they was going to start dropping my book in the 90s. And they brought us to Chicago as a guest there. And they sat us right next to Jeff Darrow. And John Romita Sr. came up and was looking at my portfolio and was talking to me about, if I thought about coming out to New York and stuff like that. And I just didn't follow up on it, just crazy stuff. I was friends with Brian Michael Bendis when he was at Caliber, and he lived in Cleveland, and I was living up near Akron, and I was digging his stuff he was doing for Caliber, his black and white comics, aka Goldfish and all that. And then he's like, man, you need to come to the studio sometime and do art. Stupid me, man. I never went up there and hung out with him. And then before you know it, man, he's blowing up. I was like, damn, he's writing movie scripts.
You could have co-created Miles Morales. You don't even know.
Right. So opportunities that I didn't really pick up on because, when you're young and doing stupid stuff, I had kryptonite. I was chasing girls back then and stuff like that. As much as I love art, I love kryptonite too. So I was,
that kryptonite will get you. That kryptonite will get you for sure.
Every time. And
then, so there's not a lot of people who, have been around indie comics can say that they've been around indie comics for 20 years, but I can tell you got a love for the art and for making comics. Is that what's kept you around for all that time? Even though you had, like you said, you had opportunities to work with, some of the biggest names, doing indie comics. A lot of people get burnt out. What do you think that's kept you in the game for this long?
I kind of took a break in the mid to late 90s. I still sketched and all that. And then the early 2000s with the internet, somebody hooked me up with Visual Webbing Presents. And then I talked to I just went to a show as a fan, talked to a small indie publisher, and he liked my stuff. And so I was like, it'd be nice to have something in print. And so in 2000, I had a couple books in print. And then it just picked up from there. I actually got in contact. There was a Christian comics group back in the early 2000s. I hooked up and did some stuff for them too. And nice people, cool dudes. And then I did a couple books in 2010, and I just kind of walked away from it. I don't know. I walked away from it for a while, a good 9 to 10 years. In 2019, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was stage 4 lymphoma. And so when I was going through chemo and treatments and stuff like that, and you're sitting there in the hospital and you think about all the stuff you didn't do. Because, when you're looking at your expiration date, you're like, man, there's so much more I could have done with my life. I've wasted days and time. And I told myself, I get through this, I'm hitting it. I'm putting my books out and trying to make some of these dreams come true. And who knows, these books might not go anywhere. They might not blow up like some of the big stuff we see, but to myself, as long as I do that, achieve those goals, my personal goals, that's what I'm set out to do, right? So I try to draw at least 10 to 30 minutes every day. And I'm pretty quick. I used to be a character artist at an amusement park. So I used to bust out stuff all the time, drawing people and stuff like that. So I got used to drawing fast. And so I can knock out some work pretty quick. Right now I'm doing the pencils, the Hot Shot, number 16 for Freestyle Comics.
Okay.
And so I've been knocking those pencils out. And so that's coming along pretty good too. So, but that's one of the things too. If you want to get into the comic book business, man, you don't want to. Your art's never complete. If you're an artist, you never really finish with most of the stuff you draw. But sometimes you got to go on to the next page, and so you got to have that mentality. Like, look, it's not Travis Terrell, but right now it's good enough for me, and I got to move on to the next page and get this book finished. And so that's one of the things I tell young artists that they come up to the table and talk about getting into it. I'm like, you got to be disciplined. You got to work on it every day. And man, practice drawing everything. Don't worry about drawing superhero poses if you can't draw backgrounds. Go learn how to draw backgrounds, animals, cars, and all that stuff. Learn about your lights and your shadows, and 3D perspective and all that. If you come to me for a bunch of superhero poses, I'm going to tell you it's storytelling. We visual storytellers, and so that's where your focus needs to be as an artist. You want to get into the game and just be disciplined and keep knocking out work, and sooner or later it will come. So
discipline to get you a long way.
Talking too much.
No,
it's fine.
Discipline to get you a long way. I think one of the things that I've experienced in my time is that consistency and discipline are very underrated in anything, like especially in comics. If you want to make comic books, and a lot of people can make one book, a lot of people can make 2 books. Not a lot of people can make 16 issues of Hot Shot. You know what I'm saying? So for Mike and in Freestyle Comics to be on issue 16 of that is amazing, and to have different artists come in and still be able to tell a cohesive story. That says something special. So definitely,
I do want to give a shout out since we mentioned it so many times. Dan, you're doing the art, and then we have Carla Mendrano, aka Moon, the storyteller, with writing Hot Shot 16. So you guys are going to be a great team.
Yeah, I haven't met her yet, so but I'm digging it. It's coming along, and and it's a challenge that, and I told him because he saw my portfolio at a show and he liked it, and then he finally reached out to me back in November and asked if I was interested, and I said, yeah, of course, man. I seen his stuff. They're set up, he's in Columbus. He's only an hour away from me, but when he goes to the shows, they got a real nice big booth and set up, and it's very professional. And so one of the challenges is he's like, I want you to draw people and make them look like people, like some of my favorite comic artists, like Jim Lee. Let's be honest, as badass as he is, sometimes his people all look the same to me, in the face and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'll never be at his level, but the request was, given to me to make him actually look like real people. And the main female character that Hot Shot takes on, she's I want to say she's Jamaican. No, she's Haitian. She's Haitian. Mm-hmm. And So there's that. But in Springfield, Ohio is only 20 minutes from my house, where they said the Haitians were eating the cats and dogs and shit.
Oh wow!
Oh wait, can we cuss? So I should just went up to Springfield and go kick it with the Haitians and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Go hang out. That's
I'd be like, hey man, can I draw you for this comic?
A little research, a little research for the comic.
So, yeah, leave those people alone. They're some good people, man. Avoid tripping on people. But anyways, so that was one of the requests, and it's challenging, but it's been fun, and so trying to juggle that, because I'll pencil a page of Hot Shot, and then I'll work on Devil's Contract, or I'll finish up, do this little details and tasks for Frank Gunn. We just had the Kickstarter campaign ended Wednesday for Frank Gunn, and we met our goal. It's not a big goal, but we met our goal of $600, and so that's enough to get the book printed and keep moving on and stuff like that. So so everything's going pretty smooth. But I think when you juggle multiple projects, the way to keep it from driving you insane is just doing a little bit each time. Like if you do pencils on one project and you're like, you know what, I'm going to jump on this other project and do some inks or something like that. And then I'll go back, finish up some pencils, go back, finish up some inks, and try not to go crazy. But, it's all good, man. It's all good. Like I said, just keep working every day for these young cats and young artists and stuff. So I'm trying to learn digital art too. I bought an iPad and got Procreate, so I'm trying to learn that too on the side. Nice. It's hard, but yeah. And there's things I'm trying to learn. I just saw, and I can share it with you guys after the show. I just saw a video where I didn't know Lineal Francis Yu, real badass artist. He does Marvel and all that stuff. He did, I think, Secret Wars and.
Yep.
I didn't know for like the past 20 years, he wasn't inking his stuff. He was printing his pencils. And so I got this video. This dude talks about that, and he's doing a book for Image, and he's printing his pencils. He's scanning in his pencils, adjusting the lights in the dark, and going right from his pencils to the books, and it looks good. I'm just like, man, I don't have to ink my own stuff. You just tighten up the pencils and go with it. So that's
for something like that,
I take on right now. How can I be faster? How can I get my books out quicker than once a year? Right. Yeah. So that's the goal.
I think for something like that,
get my stuff.
If you're going to do like just straight pencils, no inks, you got to have very tight pencils. And your colorist has to be on another level that can really bring out those pencils, because they are coming in so gray that they're going to really need to step up their game to make it a lot better. So you can do it. Yeah. But it's a process. It's an extra process depending on how you're doing it. But yeah, it's definitely doable.
Yeah. It definitely piqued my interest. So I was like, man, if I can get out, a couple issues of one of my series per year, then, that'd be great. So that's the problem with trying to do too much, is like, people forget, I'm on issue 6 of Devil's Contract, and all the people that bought issues 1 through 5 probably forgot it still exists, But we'll see. Like I said,
I want to ask you about Devil's Contract. Tell us. So you wrote and drew Devil's Contract?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about it. What is the story about?
So that story is actually a story I came up with in the early 2000s. Me and some of my friends, some of the guys that you grew up with, we was all into comics and stuff. And then I was just like, man, it'd be great if we just did a comic and had all of us as characters in the book, right? And so that's kind of how this came about. And so the Devil's Contract centers around a group of mercenary / bounty hunters, and some of them have special abilities. One character, and they're all named after the holidays. So there's a guy called the Halloween Ghost, or they call him Mr. Halloween.
Oh, I thought that was a bag he had on his head.
Yeah, that's it right there. So that's some of that. And then you got Mr. Christmas, St. Pat, the 4th, and like St. Pat, his character, everyone thinks he's crazy because he's always talking to somebody. But really what it is he's talking to this angel. This angel's telling him what to do, getting him ready for the Holy War. And the Halloween Ghost, he can see dead people. He can also project dead people. So like in issue 2, I think it is, they're loading up a werewolf into the back of a truck, and a cop pulls up, and they're all like, "Oh, sorry, we're just coming back from a party and stuff like that." And the cop doesn't believe and stuff like that, so he projects a ghost from a spirit that's connected to this police. Like this police officer shot and killed someone in the line of duty, you know, sometime back, and so he made the ghost of that shooting victim appear to the cop, and then they use that to try to get away and all that stuff. So that's some of his powers. Yeah, and so I got a bunch of characters named after holidays. But anyways, they're hired by this preacher, former preacher, who wants him to track down. He wants them to track down some of his former congregation, and come to find out, some of them are like creatures from, werewolves and vampires and all that. And they find this out eventually when they track them down and find them and stuff. And so right now where it's at is it's issue 6 is a vampires werewolf kind of war, because they had a 100-year truce. And so there's two twin brothers, and just turns out that one of them became a werewolf and the other one became a vampire, and they don't know each other is still alive. And so these two brothers basically kick off this whole war, and the holiday characters are caught in the middle of it. So that's where it's at right now. I got a whole story like with the preacher. He's not a preacher anymore. He kind of sold his soul. And so I had this whole story idea about Epstein Island a long time ago, before this was even in the news. And because I always thought there was probably some place where the rich and powerful kind of had their resort, where they just did all their dirty deeds, right? And so that's kind of in the story. So like the preacher man, him and the government and just big business and powerful dudes, they all got their resort. And so he has the holidays bringing these monsters back for entertainment. Like he wants the werewolf to sell them to the government so they can, do whatever. And he's running drugs and guns and all kinds of illegal stuff. And so that's still coming up. That part of the story arc is still coming up too, where they're going to have a final showdown, basically. So, but yeah, that's the Devil's Contract, all kind of summed up. It's dark horror, but action. I love
which issue is the Epstein Island issue?
Yeah, so that hasn't happened. Well, I showed the resort in issue 2.
Okay,
and then that's coming up in issue 8. But
we're gonna make sure when you put that issue out, we're gonna make sure that we send you like an armed guard, so that they don't take you out.
Yeah. Hey, check this out. Check this out. I got this for you. Check this out. About a year and a half ago, I did issue 4, and the preacher had his guys. They're sex trafficking or human trafficking, and they was meeting up at his old church. His old church is all boarded up and abandoned and stuff, and they was human trafficking kids and stuff like that. Well, the character Saint Pat, who talks to angels, the angel told him to go there. And so, I'll have to send you copies of the issue. So, like, this little girl's praying. She starts saying the Lord's Prayer, right? And they're all like, "It ain't going. You can pray to God all you want. It ain't going to help you." And during the Lord's Prayer, while that's just going on, Saint Pat showing up taking dudes out. I got a double pay spread. He's just taking out dudes, and it's crazy. But anyways, 2 more of the preacher's henchmen show up, and it's P. Diddy and Jared from Subway, and they got a car full of kids. Yeah, it's a trip, dude. I'll send it to you.
Oh, wow.
Like, man, there you go. Stop off for lunch. Those subs were delicious and all that.
Oh my goodness!
And they show up at the churches.
I did not think this episode would involve Epstein, Diddy, and Jared from Subway.
And Jared from Subway.
Hey, it's crazy. Yeah,
sometimes you know what? Because sometimes I think one thing about comic books and art is that you can really do things in your stories that you might not be able to do in real life, but that would be nice. With that being said, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Quick take. quick takes. We're gonna do quick takes whenever you're ready, Kyron.
All right.
Quick takes.
See, I would have had different questions if I would have known where this conversation was going. But quick take, if you haven't seen the show before, quick takes is a rapid Q&A session where we grill our guests on their darkest secrets from the internet. I'm just playing. These questions are just for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to ask you 5 questions, and you'll have 45 seconds each to answer them. Okay? Starting with question number 1. The pinball machines.
Yes.
Give me 45 seconds on why pinball machines are the greatest thing in the universe.
You know what? Growing up in the 70s and 80s, growing up in arcades and all that, the pinball is an analog device, basically. It's a toy, right? Mm-hmm. And the art from pinball machines always drew me in. Back in the 70s, it was fantasy art, but now you got pinball machines of everything. You got G.I. Joe coming out. You got Transformers 1s coming out. You got Masters of the Universe coming out, the Goonies. And there's all this great comic book pinball machines as well. And so there's that marriage between comics and pinball. It's there. It exists. And they're so fun to play, too. That's it. It's so great. I'll get you hooked. You come to date and I'll hook you up.
And you never, I think one of the other great thing about a pinball machine is you never have the same experience on a pinball machine. Nope. Like you can play a video game. You can play a video game 10 times and have the same experience. But on a pinball machine, it's going to be different every time, which is really cool.
It's a nice combination of luck and skill.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. Question number 2. I saw a couple of pictures that you posted on the grill. Some nice chicken wings you had on the grill. Every time I have somebody on here who posts about their food, Tony Clapper is one. You'll meet him at 5 Star Comic Con. He runs the show. Give me some of your best grill master tips in 45 seconds.
All right. You know what? I make a real mean Jack Daniel's bourbon glaze that they have at TGI Fridays. I don't tell them that though. Man, it's great on burgers and wings and salmon. I get to order the cedar planks online, get the cedar plank salmon going, get it blackened in season. Man, it's good. And if you're going to grill chicken, you know what? You have the temp on low, you have all the chicken in the middle, and then your outer burners, you have them on high, and keep that lid closed, but keep the heat in the middle where the chicken at on low. So that way it doesn't dry out, nice and juicy every time. Trust me, that chicken's good.
There we go. See, I'm okay on the grill. I can manage. I can make some stuff, but I'm no grill master yet. I gotta learn. I gotta get on with you and Tony Clapper. Now Tony Clapper, that dude,
he can throw it down.
He be throwing it down.
I haven't had his food yet. I'll have to tell him, ask him to hook it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if he can make us something for at the show. He'll probably be too busy.
Yeah, you're asking a lot of Tony at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, if you're listening, man, get ready.
Yeah. All right, question number 3. I want to know, in your opinion, what is the best Disney park and why?
What's the best Disney park?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I love me some Disney. All right. For me, right now, it can't change. It's a toss-up between Magic Kingdom down in Florida, the main park, and Hollywood Studios. Because Hollywood Studios got the Star Wars attractions. You got Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. They got the Muppets. I love me some Muppets. They got Toy Story rides. They got the Toy Story Land. But they got the Star Wars world. It's like you turn the corner and it looks like you're on another planet. It's amazing.
Falcon down there, man.
Those rides are ridiculous.
It's dope.
Yeah. It's hard to beat the Tower. The Tower of Terror has been there for a long time. It is hard to beat the Tower of Terror, man. That ride is great every time.
Hey, Danny, when you come to California, I'll take you to Disneyland. Go hang out.
I need to get out there.
It's only like 8-hour drive for me, so it's not that bad.
Wow, good grief. Hey, but if you're serious, we'll go. Me and Tiana will go to Disneyland with you for sure.
All right.
Because
you pay, yeah.
Hey, you ever been on the Tron ride? The Tron roller coaster?
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah, that thing is fast, man.
At night?
That thing is fast. Yeah, it was great. Okay, I didn't forgot all about quick takes. All right. Question number 4. I saw another couple of pictures that you took out in nature. Tell me, in 45 seconds, why is it important to have a balance between indoors and outdoors, and what is it about being out in nature that's so good?
You know what? I believe this world has stuff that can heal us, right? I believe that being out in the sun, vitamin D and all that, but just being out in nature, being one with nature, yeah, you got to have that balance because I live in the city, and most of my days spent in an office, in a cubicle, right? Staring at a computer all day. If I'm not looking at a computer, I'm looking at my phone. But when I'm out in nature at the state parks, national parks, it kind of takes you back to who we are, as people on this planet and all that. And it also keeps you in touch with the animals of this planet and, how we got to take care of this planet. It's our responsibility to take care of this planet because no one else is going to do it.
Absolutely. It's always great to get outside in the sun. I think I agree with you on that. I think that there's something special about being connected to nature. And even though I work in front of a computer, when I can get outside and get in the sun for a little bit, I always get recharged and re-energized.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. You said you hate Captain Planet. I don't believe you.
I never did. I said that. I said I hated Captain Planet. I don't remember saying that. I don't feel that for Captain Planet. I enjoyed some of those shows. Okay, so question number 5. We always have our guests do a top five list off the top of their heads in remembrance of a show that I once did called Top 5 Live. And this week we're gonna ask you to give us your top.
No.
What happened?
Sorry. I just got a notification one of my favorite wrestlers left WWE. That sucks.
Which one?
Kairi Sane.
Oh, that's sad. I don't know who that is.
I think she's going
we're
back
gonna
to
ask you.
Japan.
We're gonna ask you to give us your top 5 pizza toppings.
Oh, pizza toppings?
Yeah.
Whew. So, hold up. So my wife is like a chef. She hooks up the food. Yeah, she throws down. So she might kill me if I say some of the stuff. Onions. Mushrooms.
Okay. Yep.
Sausage. I love me some chicken bacon ranch pizza.
Okay.
So chicken and bacon, I guess.
There we go. Okay. No pineapple.
I thought we was going to talk about animated shows and stuff like that, but hey, pizza toppings fine too.
So what I decided to stop doing was having to make people think too hard in 45 seconds. Because when I do top 5s, it'll be like top 5 Star Wars characters or top 5, hip hop verses or something like that. And it's just
old school hip hop. We can talk. Hey, I can talk about old school hip hop.
Yeah. There you go. I could have asked you top 5
funk music,
funk bands. Yeah, that's what I should have did.
Hey, it's all good.
Man. Thank you for doing that for us this week. Quick Takes is brought to you by 5 Star Comic Con. We are 57 days, 3 hours and 20 minutes away from 5 Star Comic Con in Dayton, Ohio, at the Dayton Convention Center, June 20th and 21st, 2026. Tickets are on sale right now. Kyron, back to you, sir.
Thank you. Dan, this has been a pleasure. We appreciate you coming on, but we want to make sure our audience follows you and keeps up with, Devil's Contract and the other books that we didn't even get to Frank Gunn. So we got to have you back on to talk about that one, because that looked. Hey. I'll show the cover on that. That one looked interesting.
Yeah. I like the old pinup girls from back in the day, and I thought it'd be fun to do that. I really stay away from a lot of the adult, not safe for work stuff, just because it's not really my thing. But for that, I try to have it be a little bit tasteful and do the old pinup girl kind of stuff. So and have some fun with it. But yeah, it's a good book, man. I'm real excited for people to check it out. And if they want to see more, they can just come to mindgrindcomics.com because I finally got a website.
That's what I was going to ask.
Where's
the best place online? So mindgrindcomics.com.
Yeah.
All right. Danny, where's the best place for people to follow you?
If you want to find me, the best place to go is fourthwallpros.com. And if you want to find me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you, sir?
You could find me online at TaurusComics.com. I'm also on all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. And this is the first time you've ever checked out our podcast. You can go to our website, fourtalespodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can listen to our previous episodes. You can buy merchandise, support us there. But join us next week where we are going to have writer JP Plack on the show to talk about their comics. But until next time, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.